to get going on this. So we got mining part 1 and 2 with, is it Steve in between? After me is Steve, yeah. Me, Steve, me. Sam. Oh, okay. Fantastic. So, it's nice to have a two-part bigger chunk of time to talk about security and mining. So, if anybody's looking at Bitcoin Twitter space, somebody maybe commented on my slides because the Fed is a private, the Fed is a private institution. I could only respond with a smiling face, laughing. No private institution can print dollars or go to the Treasury and buy them for 10 cents on $100. So that to me is the source of everything that's not private about the Fed. I think they can just get any money you want. So yes, they do issue dividends to their so-called shareholders, but the government pays its own people. Right? So consider them part of the state. It's not private. It's not market. Okay. We're taking questions on Twitter. All right, I'll get started. Stop moving. I don't have it memorized. Can you skip to the next slide? Yeah. This communication is wide now. Here we go. We're stocked with Corona. Prices going up. I hear this stuff's been really in demand. So we get to the premium beer. Okay, mining part 1. No. We should get part 1. Yeah, I just wanted you to go to the next slide, not the next presentation. Sorry. Yeah, that's it. This is the next slide. Yes, this is the correct presentation. Just go to the slide next. It's still on that one. That one. Now go to the next slide. This one's more. Yeah, next one. Okay, so I'm going to discuss the business model of Bitcoin mining, which we can get some more expertise on later. Steve Barber's presentation. Back. The zero-sum nature mining, holding pressure is dedicated cost, principle, and efficiency, paradox. These are topics in the book to read more about. Next. So the business model mining. This is so these are the 5 topics we're going to discuss. So I'll go to the next one. So we talked about this already, so I can kind of skip over this. Bitcoin is a transaction confirmation market. Miners sell merchants, and miners compete with each other in mining, not the market. So competition between miners and merchants. And of course, miners want to receive the highest fee they can, like anybody that sells anything. And their customers, the merchants, want to pay the lowest fee they can, and that's resulted in the market price, which everything has. It doesn't make them adversarial, they both benefit at that price, by definition. Next. Zero-sum pricing. So this is kind of unique in Bitcoin. So in the book, and I think this is pretty consistent in the community, the term hash power is distinct from hash rate. Right? Hash rate is cycles per second. Hashes per second. Hash power is a proportion of blocks over time. So you get 10% of the hash power, it means you're getting 10% of the blocks. You might have 8% of the hash rate. They're not the same. So if one miner's hash power goes from 10% to 15%, somebody else collectively probably has lost 5% because there's only 100% of hash power. Right? So it's zero sum. Not all the hash power can rise, right? Some goes up, some goes down. And hash power determines the amount, the proportion of the rewards you earn. So in that aspect, mining as a whole is zero sum. Trade, on the other hand, just to compare this to something that's not zero sum, trade is not zero sum. You people have something that each other wants. When they trade, it's not the same as it was before. They're now both wealthier, and trade increases wealth because now both people have more of what they wanted than they started with, what they wouldn't have traded. So trade is not zero sum. It's a common fallacy to believe that it is. Okay, so talking about market rate of return. I mentioned before that you might say the market return on capital over time, on average, is somewhere around 10%. Talk about time preference later, which drives that. So the most efficient miner is going to earn above market rate of return, the least efficient is going to earn below market rate of return. Why is that? Because the average rate of return on mining, like everything else, over time, on the average, in theory, is going to be the same return on capital, because all capital seeks highest returns, but competition enters to reduce returns. So if you get 20% somewhere, 10%, 5% somewhere else, you want your money that's at a 5% return and a 20% return, and increases supply of whatever you're investing in, and the returns come down. And this equilibrium that's reached is called the interest rate, which in theory, without state controls, etc., would be uniform across the world. So this theoretical market rate of return is what mining returns on the whole, in theory, right? In theory it works. But if you're more efficient, you're making more money for the same amount of costs, right? Which means somebody has to be making less, because mining is zero sum. Somebody's the least efficient. So if you're making more than the market return on capital, more capital is going to flow into your business. And if you're making less, that money's going to flow out. Biggest get bigger, the smallest fail. But there always has to be a smaller, right? If you were the one miner, you would earn market return on capital. If you were the 50% miner, you would earn above that. So Bitcoin has this seemingly perverse design, which causes there to be a 50% miner. It's just a natural behavior of Bitcoin. And we've seen it. It doesn't have to be one company, one person, one region, like all this mining together is more profitable. We'll talk about why. But as I also mentioned before, a 50% miner is not a problem for people transacting. It's only a problem when they can't get their transactions confirmed, but then they just pay more money to pay somebody who's willing to mine them, and then those miners start making more money, and then the century miner starts losing money. So it's naturally correcting as well. The problem is it's easily, a single 50% miner or region, whatever, is easily co-opted by the state. So it's a shortcut to get to that point. Next. Dedicated costs. So, talked about internal and external proof, right? So we're talking about external proof, only talking about Bitcoin. There's all kinds of costs that go into mining. Steve will probably tell you about some of it, but the money to be made in mining comes from the block reward, which you can just generally think of as fees. Right? So people are willing to pay higher or lower amounts to get their transactions confirmed, and it's those fees that determine how much hash power there will be. Right? Fees are rising, hash rate will always be 100% hash power. So as fees rise, there's more money to be made, more hash rate comes online, more competition. So the interesting thing though, and so the last bullet here refers to the efficiency paradox. It's true in any business. So I use the example of a brewery that's run by some former employees. That's some former employees of my first startup. Started this brewery, and they were talking to me about how they take the excess or the spent hops and they sell them to ranchers or farmers, and so that makes them more efficient. And so they have a leg up on their competition. But then their competition figures it out, and they become more efficient, and everybody ends up getting the same efficiency. So any byproduct of mining will just be sold. Right? If it's a useful byproduct, it'll be sold, and it will not be therefore a cost. Right? The cost is the net of the price you pay for the hops minus the price you sell them for. So you subtract out anything that's useful. So say if finding prime numbers is useful, there's a price for it. It's worth something to somebody. If there's a mining algorithm that does exist that tried to combine, in other words, make more energy efficient mining by providing something extra that's useful. The fact that it's useful means that it has a price. So that price is just subtracted, right? And the fees still have to be absorbed through competition, so hash rate rises. And the same amount of energy gets consumed. So you just subtract out any byproduct that's just unnecessary, has no net effect. So next, the efficiency paradox. So you could come up with some hardware improvement to make mining much more energy efficient. And all miners adopt this improvement. Does it change the energy consumption? No. It's paradoxical, because all that happens is hash rate has to increase so that the energy cost goes up to absorb all the fees. No energy reduction is possible. The market cost of the net energy, all the costs that go into mining, can be reduced to energy, even paying people, right? So that total cost of energy has to be consumed. Price of energy changes, it goes down, there's more energy, right? Price of energy goes up, you use less, because you're consuming cost, not energy. It's really proof of, actually I have a topic called the proof of cost fallacy. All you can prove is that you've done a certain amount of work. You can't prove the cost of that work. Right? Nobody knows what price you're paying for your energy, but they can prove how many cycles probabilistically you've executed. So the proof is literally of work, but the cost is what's being consumed. Okay, so pooling pressures are these things that cause larger miners, which are pools, right? Cause miners to pool together. This is the categorization I came up with. We could probably describe this differently, but proximity premium is, do I have separate slides for each of these? No, okay, that's fine. We're going to try to get back on track. Proximity premium is this idea that if you're closer together, your hash rate is more efficient. You're closer to other miners in terms of communication time, because latency, the time it takes for data information to travel, has a cost in Bitcoin. If everybody had the same time to see everybody else's blocks, in other words, people were miners were evenly distributed around the Earth, presumably what would happen is a couple of them would get close together and they'd pull all the other ones in. Right? You kind of see this. But there's other pressures too. But this is a big one, because the reason for that is, this is not to be foreign to anyone here, but the reason for that is if you see a new valid block on the strong chain being produced before everybody else, you start applying your hash rate to building the next block on top of that one, and that gives you more time and probabilistically a greater chance of finding the next block than somebody who's still waiting to see that block. So a miner sees his own blocks. So there's an incentive for miners to get blocks out quickly because they want other people to build on them in case there's kind of a tie, but there's also an incentive for people to see them more quickly. If everybody sees them at the same rate quickly, there's no improvement, right? So in other words, making everything faster doesn't actually reduce this pooling pressure. Some of the things that people talk about maybe appear to. But what, I think I have this on my second topic, so I'm going to talk about it. Relays, if I haven't covered, mention it. Okay, so there's proximity premium, which gives you a premium for being more proximate to other miners. So this is gravity that pulls miners together. And then you have variance discount. In other words, the money you make as a smaller miner is discounted versus money made as a larger miner, because miners have to pay their bills, and if they get paid, if they win a block once a year, even if it's perfectly proportional. There's no proximity premium. They're just making proportion to their hash rate. They're burning a block, which are very small. You have this, probabilistically fairly predictable, but long time spans between getting cash, and so you have to borrow money to cover yourself during these periods. Whereas if you're larger, you're getting paid regularly, you don't have to borrow money. So that borrowing cost is interest, and so even though you're making the same proportion of blocks, you're actually operating at efficiency. Just want miners to come together and share their blocks and share the rewards. Okay, market variation. So things are different around the world. Some places are hot, some places are cold. So as an example, right, it's less energy efficient to mine in places that are hot because you need to cool your equipment. So there's a higher cost. So market varies, and it causes cooling pressures to keep mining more collected in areas that are more conducive to mining. Market distortion. So this is the market itself, right? The free market is distorted by the non-free market. The state comes in and says, well, here we're going to subsidize mining, give you cheap energy, you get all this excess hydro that we, pay fully tax their dollars, and your uncle runs the dam and he wants to make some money, so you're getting a market distortion. Another place might be, heavily taxed, or illegal to mine, so another market distortion. So those lead to pooling in certain regions as well. And then you just have economies of scale, which it's not that the biggest company is always the most efficient. That's demonstrably not true. There's a lot of types of businesses that run much better at smaller scale. But there's an optimal scale, there's an optimal size, presumably for any type of business, any category of business. And because of proximity premium, et cetera, there's, larger tends to be better for Bitcoin mining, but there's also efficiencies of having everything under one roof instead of a lot of little buildings all around the world, right? Just managing people, security, things like that can be better at a larger scale. So these things tend to pull together, but you also have so without a threat, without market distortion kind of causing you to disperse, you would expect mining to kind of pull up, and because of the proximity premium, reach at least 50% under one region or one person's control. Okay. That's by design, and I worked on a team that's trying to identify ways to eliminate proximity invariance. Can't really eliminate market variation, distortion, or economies of scale, but proximity invariance are protocol-based, and there's been no way found to resolve those issues. So I call them a flaw, like proximity premium variance discounting flaws, but if there's no other better way, it's just the way it is. It's just not ideal. What you want, because of risk sharing, is you want mining to be very dispersed, right? Fully distributed, operating at small scale. If you start getting big, then it gets easier to just put control on that, and then you would see more dispersion. But presumably only that. Just like with merchants, the web wallets, exchanges, et cetera, that kind of operate as wallets, these things are the same, have other advantages. I might talk about somewhere else, but there's other advantages of them being big as well. In other words, they, like say Coinbase can net transactions off chain. Right? So that's efficient. It seems like you're using Bitcoin and it's cheaper, but you're actually using their credit system and they have Bitcoin. So it's a trade-off. Okay. 12 minutes. All right, we're catching up a little bit. Questions?
Hello. Hi. You mentioned earlier about proof of stake, and it had some big issues. One being that everything was happening on chain, so there's no off-chain costs related to it. Do you see maybe proof of stake as a solution, on the other hand, to the problems you just listed?
Proof of stake, I clarified my comments earlier on proof of stake. Proof of stake is not censorship resistant. There's no way to resist the sensor. The sensor just accumulates enough stake, and then they own the coin forever. So that's the deficiency. But centralized systems or non-censorship resistant systems are cheaper, right? And Bitcoin is not the cheapest way to do things by far. So proof of stake has advantages, but it's not censorship resistant. And that's really the only position I take on it. Okay? If you want a censorship resistant money, then that's not it. Somebody, and again, it would rely, if it had any of the other characteristics, it would rely on privacy, anonymity, decentralization, right? So nobody knows who's doing it, or it's not legit in the first place. So how do you know the state's not just buying up all the stake and now it's got it, and money's useless? Or it can enforce any constraints on new blocks or transactions it wants, because it can't get more proof unless they conform. So censorship becomes easy and perpetual. In Bitcoin, it's never shown to be perpetual because you can always add more energy, and there's always reasons potentially to add more energy because the fees will rise on confirmed transactions. So that's it. I lump my critique on state or internal proof systems into one answer: not censorship resistant, not a Bitcoin, but with a carrot.
You said before that the miners sell confirmations to merchants, right? But in Bitcoin, it is the consumers who pay the fees, the on-chain fees. Right?
Yeah. So when there's a tax on your pizza, who's paying it? Yeah, it's who pays the fee, like who has the economic impact? It's both of them, right? Their market is being attacked. They're both suffering. You know, few people buy, people are buying, paying higher price, right? It's not clear who really pays the tax, but both of them are suffering from it. I did cover this earlier, but I'll just recap. The fee is mechanically, technically, on the transaction submitted or signed by the customer of the merchant. But that's just because we understand Bitcoin from a technical level, we think of it that way. When you use a credit card, the fee is kind of determined by the merchant. They have this agreement with Visa company, whatever, and you sign it, right? So they give you a receipt, but they don't show you the fee, but they put the fee in there, and it's part of your price, and you sign it. There's nothing that prevents a merchant from producing the transaction that they want you to sign for, you have to do it together, obviously, but the merchant wants it confirmed, so they want a sufficient fee. So they're either going to let you choose the fee and just wait till it confirms, or they're going to choose the fee and be maybe happy that it will confirm sooner. But the important aspect is not the mechanics of who writes down the fee in the transaction. But the important thing is who cares about it getting confirmed. It's only the merchant. The customer does not want, presumably you're honest and you want the thing to confirm or whatever, but you have no financial interest in that confirmation, except for maybe getting the merchandise more quickly. It's really the merchant who wants to get the money. So it's clear from an economic standpoint to think of the merchant as buying the confirmation just like they do with Visa and every other confirmation system, and then potentially negotiating with the consumer over what that fee would be. But both pay it. So. Anybody else?
I have a silly question. So, the proximity premium, does it make mining on the moon impractical? I mean, if, let's say the latency to the moon is approximately 100 times greater than the best latencies that you can get between the city on Earth, does that make it not possible to ever mine on the moon, even if there was like unlimited free energy up there?
Always possible. The question is profitable, right?
That's my question. Would it be practical?
Yeah, you might be getting orphaned faster than you can produce blocks, right? And I don't have a topic on this. Somebody, maybe Peter Todd, wrote up a very lengthy, kind of tongue-in-cheek, but real good analysis on the specific latency, the time travel, the time to travel, and the theory is, I think it was that you would end up with two separate coins because the latency is too high. But to me, I just don't delve, and not because it's unrealistic or futuristic or anything like that. It's just not. It's really just a numbers game with a specific coin. Like, what's the block interval, and that has a big impact on it. So for Bitcoin, it would be one thing. For the one with a shorter or longer block interval, it would be different. But no, I think there's some point at which it's not feasible. It may be on the moon, maybe on Mars. I don't remember. Yeah, you get too far away, you just constantly lose it. But you'd end up with a separate fork out there, right? And then they'd have to be merged, and somebody would win some money. So really, I think it comes down to who's got the greater hash power, right? Is it 51% on the moon or 51% on the Earth? Because once they reconcile, the people with the greater hash power should win. Okay, any others? All right, a little bit ahead schedule, try to keep that way.